Bro, you gonna take a shot at the Silverback?
And you just said that on camera. This going viral.
Ape Nation, thank you for helping me pass 200 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, hopefully I can earn it today. For those of you who don't know, the gentleman on the left is Aron, CEO of AMC Entertainment. The gentleman on the right is Ryan Cohen, the new CEO of GameStop. I want to go back to June 3rd when Aron made his second interview with Trey'S. Alright, so let's go back to June 3rd, which was just about 2 weeks ago. Aron did his second interview with Trey'S. This was part 2 of the interview with the Silverback. And we're about almost 5 minutes into the video. And Trey is asking AA about the shares that he had dumped on the market earlier in the week. Let's take a look at the clip, and then we'll come back and comment on it.
All right. I like the piece of that you said there wasn't any hard proof stating that they actually made that statement. So I think that's a good thing to get out there, that there wasn't any hard documentation. But the next question that I've got for you is regarding the 11.5 million shares that were sold today. Now, this is just raised some concerns for a lot of the investors. Now, there was the first interview here, we talked about how AMC had, 46-ish thousand shares total remaining after they'd issued those 43 million shares, offering into the market and raise a great sum of cash. So there's a sentiment right now passing along with the retail investor group, the apes, that they feel a little bit betrayed. They feel like the management was hiding something that was behind closed doors and we just didn't get to see it. Now, there's probably some sort of explanation for this, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. But where did these shares come from for this 11.5 million shares that you sold into the market for Mudrick Capital for those 8.5 million shares? And are there any shares remaining that we should expect for the future so we can make better investment decisions for ourselves?
Sure thing. And Trey, that's one of the reasons I came on with you today, is to make sure that we get the straight scoop out in front of all of the people who are shareholders of our company. Back when we said that we had 43 million shares available for sale, you will also recall that was before the May 4 shareholder meeting that was postponed. One of the items that was up for shareholder vote at the May 4 meeting was to put 20 million AMC shares into what's called the Management Equity Incentive Plan. Those shares would be essentially given to the management of the company. Given, I might add, for free to the management of the company.
Right.
The management team of the company cares so much about the company that we decided that rather than us taking those 20 million shares and those 20 million shares working for the benefit of officers of AMC, that we ought to use those shares a different way. We ought to use those shares to strengthen the company, the company that all of your followers are invested in. And so if you look at a press release that we put out just about an hour ago with the new proxy for the new July 29 shareholder meeting, you will see that there are 0 shares being allocated to the management of the company. Those 20 million shares that were going to go into my pocket and the pockets of other managers and executives of the company, we decided instead that they should be used for the company's benefit, not for our personal benefit. So though, if you look at the proxy that went out a few minutes ago, we are not making any request of the shareholders to put any shares in the Management Equity Incentive Plan. That essentially, those 20 million shares that were going to go to us personally for our own money, that freed those 20 million shares up, and we sold those 20 million shares, 8.5 million earlier over the last week to Mudrick, and 11.5 million today. And between those two transactions, we raised over $800 million of cash, not to line my pocket or anybody who works at AMC, but to put that money in the treasury of AMC to strengthen AMC, let AMC do more good things to grow our company. That's where the 20 million shares came from. We all know what we did with them. We put them into the market. We brought in over $800 million doing so. And that makes AMC a much stronger company, much easier for us to grow going forward. And I think that's in the best interest of our shareholders. There's another point I'd like to make. And it's a very important point because it goes to this whole issue of dilution. I believe amongst some AMC shareholders.
I'm going to pause it here because he's going to go into dilution of the stock and how that's not bad for the shareholders at all. I don't agree with it, so I'm not even going to bring that part of the video in. All right, so what did he just say there? Now, let me know in the comments down below, please, because I have watched this part of the interview many, many times. And the only conclusion I can take from this answer to Trey's question is that he says on May 4th, we were supposed to have that shareholder meeting, the one that's being held now on July 29th. At that time, we are going to take a vote. And in that vote, you can vote yes or no to whether the, what was it called? The Management Equity Incentive Plan. He said shares, these 20 million AMC shares, the 8.5 million that they did the general offering with, and the 8.5 million that they sold to Mudrick Capital. He said they were going to go to management of the company for free. They decided rather than those shares working to better the officers of AMC, they ought to use those shares a different way to strengthen the company. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we never took a vote on that. It was supposed to happen May 4th. Whether it would have passed or not, I don't know. And just to prove that this is correct, I'm going to take you to the SEC filing. Proposal number 5, the Equity Incentive Plan. We are submitting for stockholder approval an amendment, a stockholder approval, that's us, Ape Nation, to increase the number of shares available for awards under the EIP by 20 million shares to 35 million. So they already have 15 million. Shares replenishment provision to comply with NYSE rules by eliminating the ability to reuse shares that have been previously issued in return to the company as payment for the exercise price of stock options or payment of taxes. So this was the 5th proposal that was going to be on the May 4th shareholders meeting that got postponed until July 29th. And very clearly it states here, submitting for stockholder approval, which means when they dumped those 20 million shares on the market, they did not have shareholder removal. And why is that relevant? You're probably asking, why is that relevant? Here's why it's relevant. Let's look back at the chart to what happened immediately after those 2 share dumps. And this is going to apply for Ryan Cohen with GME too, last week. So the 2 dates that we're looking at, where's my 1 month here? The 2 dates we're looking at are June 3rd and June 5th. All-time high, going back up to an all-time high. And what happened? Dump. So as we're cruising those 2 days before the offering to Mudrick and the 11.5 million general offering, we were at all-time highs or on our way to all-time highs. That's why I have a problem with this, because they twice took a bite out of the momentum and took some of the FOMO out, right? I mean, and we never got to vote on it. And I just think he slipped in that whole thing about them going to the CEOs as, for free to them as bonuses, which is all fine and dandy. And don't get me wrong, the money that they collected from those offerings went back into the company, which is a good thing for the long term, for strengthening AMC and GME eventually when they do put the 5 million shares out there. But the same thing happened with GME. right? Last Thursday, after they came out with their quarterlies, GME was over 300 and it was at 350, I think, in aftermarket. They come out with the offering, boom, right down to 225. I mean, you're talking about $125 drop in the stock. Now, I don't know about the logistics with GME and the offering, how that goes. But I just think those two things were momentum killers. I mean, who knows where we would be right now if that hadn't come out. And I just find it a little shady that he didn't follow through with what the SEC proposal, with the filing of the SEC proposal for number 5 was. They never got our vote on it. And now he's asking for 25 more million shares on July 29th. And like I said before, I'm going to wait till the very last minute. You don't have to vote right now to see what happens and how this plays out over the next 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks. I'm not going to give them a free pass and just say, oh, yeah, sure, no problem right now. And I would suggest that to any of my followers or subscribers or anyone just even viewing this. Just, there's no rush to get the vote in. So take your time. Let's see how things play out. And, we can make a decision based on what's going to happen in the future. There's no need to jump into anything right now. So that was my big beef with this. And it bothers me because I wonder where we could be right now. Had we opened up that day at $77 a share and we didn't have the first thing in the morning, the news, that they were dumping 11.5 million shares on the market, or when we were at 64, which is, we almost got back there yesterday, but still, we were there. We were at 77. And they killed it. And he killed it, I should say. Overall, I have no complaints about Aron. But I do wonder where we would be right now if those two things hadn't happened. And I hate to think about if there was anything malicious behind that, or if they were trying to manage something, because we were about to take off at that point. We had a lot of backing. There was a ton of FOMO. And I know the money went to a good cause. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It bothers me sometimes. I've thought about it for the last couple of weeks on where we would be right now, and I just figured I was going to make a video about it. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think that was shady? Do you think we should have voted on it? I'm curious to know what the rest of Ape Nation thinks. Am I the only one here? Am I just being kind of a prick and calling out Aron for no reason? Or legitimately, do any of you guys feel the same way? Do you feel like we could be at a much different place right now? Especially with last week, how there was so much FOMO going into it, and I know a lot of people were disappointed yesterday. Personally, I feel like, excuse me, it was still a great week for AMC, for Ape Nation. I think last week just showed the strength of this stock. It is dominating right now. It is so strong, and the fact that we keep stair-stepping higher and higher, I think we're going to get there eventually. I have no doubt about that. But it just, I have a little bit of a problem with this. I'm curious to know what you guys think. So if you could leave me a comment down below, I'll put some of the comments out in my next video that I do, and let's have a conversation about it. All right, guys, that's all I got for this afternoon. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. I don't want any Patreon or super chats or T-shirts. Just help get the information out there. Let's keep everyone motivated. Let's keep AMC relevant. That's all I ask for. Let YouTube do the algorithm work for us. It's free advertising. So if you can like and subscribe, that is awesome. I love all you guys out there, the whole ape community. I think this is one of the best movements in history, period. I think they're going to be talking about us for a long time on what we did, the good things that we did for the U.S. right now and for the future. All right, guys, that's it. This is Ape Nation. I'm the Massalorian, and I'm out.